Hi, everyone. My name is Patrick Ashby, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. And we will begin the webinar in 15 to 20 seconds. Please have a read through our disclaimer, and then we will get started. Okay, folks, I can see that there's still people onboarding, but we are at the top of the hour, so we will begin the webinar. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Patrick Ashby, and this is my son, Matthew Ashby. And together we are helping to bring the word to realtors about eXp. We first learned about this model in 2015. And just before we get started, I'm just going to share a little bit about my background. I was actually licensed as a realtor in 1984. So that was 6 years before Matthew was even born. I joined the permanent and then spent 6 months there. And then I joined Remax. I had a wonderful career, did a lot of commercial real estate. And then I moved into being a full-time investor. And here's what ended up happening was in 1999, two Remax agents and myself formed a company because we wanted to create a brokerage for the future, something that could create a retirement plan for realtors. And that actually led us to Keller Williams to learn about their profit sharing plan. So about 20 years ago, myself and these two other Remax agents went and met Gary Keller. And to make a long story short, that resulted in Keller Williams coming to Ontario. So here's what ended up taking place. In 2015, I met with these two gentlemen. Here we are on a golf course in Mexico, and this is Gene Frederick on the left and Rob Flick on the right. Now, these two gentlemen were instrumental in the growth of Keller Williams into the largest real estate company in the world. And when I learned that both of them were coming out of retirement for this tiny little company called eXp, and I thought maybe there's potential that we could bring this to Canada. So before we get into the whole story here, I just want to share with you a little bit about who Gene Frederick is. He's one of North America's most influential realtors, formerly a top Remax agent before joining Keller Williams in the early 90s. And what happened was he sold his Keller Williams region and 6 mega offices in 2015 to join eXp. He was given a seat on the board of directors for eXp World Holdings, where we're a publicly traded company, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But Gene brought two ideas to the company. He basically said to the board, if we want to become the largest real estate company in the world, we need to tweak our plan a little bit. And he introduced the Agent Equity Program and the Icon Agent Program to eXp in 2015. And since that time, we have skyrocketed in growth. You can see here in 2015, we were barely off the ground. The company was formed in 2009. So in 6 years, we grew from 25 agents to about 500 agents. But since we introduced these two new programs, our company has taken off. And as you can see here, we're now over 28,000 agents. Over 1,000 agents a month are joining eXp. We just recently expanded into the United Kingdom and also Australia. So one of the things that Gene talks a lot about is changing the mindset of realtors to think and act like business owners and to be able to build a business for your family's future. The two components that are totally different from traditional brokerages that out there are that we have stock and something called revenue share, and both of these items are willable. If we take a look and see how real estate really works, it's about trading time for money. If you're just taking listings and working with buyers, there's this old saying that you're only as good as your last sale, okay? So at eXp, we also do that, take listings and work with buyers, but at the same time with our model, we can actually build assets for your future. So here we have John Cooper, former top Remax team in Western Canada, and he said it perfectly. He says, I'm a businessman with a real estate license. There's no better opportunity in real estate than eXp. I'm just going to share with you a few things that have happened since 2015 because Gene's prediction came true. He said, if we make these changes, we're going to start attracting some of the top real estate agents in North America. Here's Brent Gove, former number 11 in the world for Remax. And then he moved his entire team to Keller Williams in 2008. And Brent brought his entire team to eXp in 2016. Here we have Donna Delonzo from Montreal, formerly owned 6 Remax franchises in Montreal. And then she sold those and brought Keller Williams to Quebec. She's now a broker of record for eXp in Quebec. And here's Marcy Willems. Now, take a look at this. Ranked number 16 overall in the United States, the number 1 team in Arizona, and they sell approximately 700 homes a year. So we're talking some pretty big agents who are coming to eXp. Here we have Wayne Jewell. He actually owned his own Sutton Group franchise, and 70 million in sales volume last year. He's now eXp. Jimmy Franklin from Houston. Formerly, this team was all Remax. He came to them one day and said, guys, I have a new program for us to look at. It's a better opportunity for all of us. And they transitioned over, and look at the type of volume that they're doing, over 300 million in sales last year. Here's Randy Dick. Now he's was the number 2 Remax agent in Western Canada. The year prior to him coming to eXp, he's been top 50 in the world multiple times for Remax, and he was very influential in spreading the word of eXp throughout British Columbia. And now we have entire brokerages merging with eXp as well, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So here's what we're going to cover: is just who we are and our business model, the key benefits, etc., and talk a little bit about the growth factor and the summary. But it's important to know how this whole story came about. And this is our founder, Glenn Sanford, and Glenn's actually Canadian. He's from Alberta, and Glenn is a tech genius. And what happened was he was an early pioneer developing software for the real estate industry. He was actually hired by a brokerage in the United States to develop software so that it could track people from the internet and match them up with realtors. Today, lead generation is a big business, but Glenn realized that when he created this software, he had something really special. So he went out and he got his real estate license, and he ended up buying up multiple Keller Williams offices. And here he became one of Keller's top real estate agents without ever meeting a client. See, because he was able to attract agents to his franchised offices and feed them leads and take referral fees. So imagine that, becoming one of the top realtors in the company without ever doing an open house or writing a contract. So here's what ended up happening. In the market collapse of 2008, and that was a sudden collapse, Glenn realized a couple things. The majority of his agents were no longer coming in and using office facilities. And at the same time, he put his tech hat on and realized that he could use technology to eliminate the needs for bricks and mortar. Okay. So in 2009, he launched with 25 agents and created a cloud-based brokerage based out of Bellingham, Washington. So Glenn thought as an agent as he created this model. So what he wanted to do was solve the 4 major challenges facing realtors. 1 is lack of quality leads, 2 is proper training, 3 is the high brokerage fees, and 4 is no retirement plan. So let's take a look at how our business model works. And to do that, if we take a look at how technology has changed industries, we can see that there's so many industries that have been disrupted. Of course, Netflix put Blockbuster out of business. Amazon is skyrocketing. And even right now, as we go through this terrible lockdown with COVID-19, we are seeing so many people learning the benefits of online shopping, right? And of course, Airbnb, disrupted the hotel industry. Uber's disrupted taxis, etc. But if you take a look at the business model of real estate, okay, of course, technology has changed the way that consumers are getting information and how we're writing contracts. However, if we take a look at, some of these popular franchises, wonderful companies, you'll notice one thing in particular: they were all created before the internet. Okay, so these are all models that are kind of stuck in the mud with bricks and mortar, with long-term leases and very, very high expenses. So what Glenn was able to do was become an innovator and disruptor to the real estate brokerage industry. Okay, so that's in essence the simplicity of our model. But here's the thing: is that with the savings of millions and millions of dollars in office rent and overhead, Glenn was able to create a plan where the key benefits could be rolled back to the agents. Okay, so this is how our world looks like. It's basically a cloud-based campus. where you can access our offices in the world virtually. Okay, and from your phone, your tablet, your desktop, laptop, whatever. Okay, and obviously there's a lot of benefits associated with working this way, and the main benefit, of course, is cutting down on the overhead expenses that ultimately have to be paid for by real estate agents. So it's just using smart technology to be having a more efficient model. So this is what our community looks like. Here we have Joshua at our information desk for real-time support. And we have all of these specialized departments. We have training auditorium for large-scale meetings, information sharing, team collaboration. So if you could imagine a 100,000 square foot office, with all of these various departments, okay, and we can scale this as we grow. As we grow internationally, we'll have various divisions. And this particular company, the software company that created this, it's called Verbella, and eXp World Holdings actually acquired that company. So we own the tech company now that created this world. So let's talk about another key benefit for agents, because at eXp, we are all shareholders. So our company is traded now on the NASDAQ. And here's what happens is you earn shares on your first closed transaction of every year. If you hit our cap of 80,000 in gross commissions, you earn shares. And if you happen to recommend our company to an agent who joins, you'll also earn shares. So these equity awards are actually vested for a 3-year period, but then we also have the agent equity program. And this is the first thing that Gene introduced to the company in 2015. And that is, it's optional, but you can actually elect to take 5% of every commission, and the company will acquire stock for you at a 10% discount off the trading price. Then we also have our Icon Agent Award program, and this is for the top producers. And if you're wondering why so many top producers are coming to eXp, the Icon Agent Award and Agent Equity program are the two reasons why. Because Icon agents receive all of their cap back in stock in the company. So think about that for a minute. An Icon agent has to do either 500,000 in gross commissions for the year, or hit 80,000 in commissions and write a further 20 transactions, okay? So there's two ways of achieving Icon, but all of our agents are on an 80-20 split for the first 80,000, and then they go to 100% commission. So that 20% company dollar, which represents the 16,000, if you're an Icon agent, you receive all of that back in the form of stock in the company. Absolutely brilliant, okay? Because here's the other part of the Icon program. It's the Icon agents who actually do the live training in the cloud. So in fact, right now during this crisis, we've stepped it up to 50 to 60 hours of live training every week. But could you imagine receiving training now from top producers? It's never been done in the industry unless you want to pay for it. But in our company, our Icon agents are getting compensated through stock in the company, and they have a vested interest in teaching all agents how to make more sales and take listings, all about lead generation, social media, all of these different factors. And we even record these sessions. So, our live training, we have agents coming to eXp just for the training program, okay? And it's pretty amazing when you look at it. Now, our founder is a big believer in lead gen. So he went out and sourced the #1 lead gen software out in the marketplace right now, which is called KV Core, okay? So it comes with your own personalized website, your CRM, and this is very, very powerful and robust. There's brokerages that are using this. There's top mega teams that are using this. And if you haven't heard of KV Core, it might be because it's very, very expensive and out of reach for most agents. But remember, our business model is about reducing overhead. So we have no rent to pay. We have no furniture to buy as a company, okay? So it allows eXp to invest in this software and give it back to agents. So if you were to take a look at KV Core pricing, and you can go ahead and Google it and look at the reviews and everything, but as an individual agent, this is what it would cost you. but $9,300 a year. And when you join eXp, you get this entire system for free. So again, an unbelievable benefit. And as the word starts traveling through the real estate industry that eXp agents receive this incredible KV core for free, it's unbelievable. So if you take a look at what's happening, here's a guy that I'm so proud of, Thomas Kayla. And here he is with the famous Tom Hopkins at one of our events. And Thomas is a brand new agent, and in his first year with eXp, the combination of the Icon agent training along with KV Core, he was able to sell 50 homes and earn in excess of $500,000 in his first year in real estate. So an unbelievable achievement, but again, would he be able to do this without this type of training and technology? Absolutely not. But we have what it takes for agents to be successful and sell more real estate. So the last thing that I'd like to share with you is something called revenue share. And, you know, revenue share, in order to really understand it, it's really important to realize where all the money's going in traditional brokerages. So if we take a look at the franchise model, which really has not changed in the last 40 years, okay? We take a look at it and there's only one way of money coming in, and that's with agents paying fees and sharing commission splits with their broker and franchise owner. And that money has to flow up to pay for office space. But above that level, there's what we call the regional owner. The regional owners also have office space, and then some of the money needs to flow up to headquarters. And I'm using RE/MAX here as an example because that's where I spent the majority of my career. And when you take a look at how this forms, you know, there's only one way of money flowing up this pyramid. So, you know, with all of these traditional models, and again, you know, it was impossible to really create something other than this back before there was internet. But unfortunately here for real estate agents, it's maybe not the best model for today with the technology that we have in place to make things better. So as you can see here, you know, there's a lot of money that's going up. And one of the, I guess, challenging things is that as agents, we don't have pension plans, we don't have paid vacations, we don't have any of that. And so by being able to eliminate all of this excess overhead, eXp was able to create what we call a revenue share plan, okay? And it's pretty amazing when you flatten this business model out, and then you see what happens with the, like as a large scale company, it's eventually in the savings of hundreds of millions of dollars. Because if you take a look at the big guys like RE/MAX and Keller Williams and Century 21 and Coldwell Banker, their overhead is absolutely massive. So by creating this flattened structure, there's a great cost savings that benefit directly to you, the agent, okay? So, you know, when we take a look at it, it's all about cost efficiencies, okay? And then the company is able to share back in the revenue for the agents who help build the company. And Glenn had, you know, a couple of real cornerstone beliefs here. The first one is that the agents are the ones who do the heavy lifting, and they deserve the benefits of being the shareholders. And let's, you know, create another income stream for agents who want to help build the company. So this is how revenue share works. As I mentioned earlier, we have a cap of 80,000. So the 20% here represents the company dollar, and that money is held in our revenue share trust account. And because we have no bricks and mortar expenses, that 20% can actually be paid back to agents, okay, on a monthly basis who help grow the company. So what the company did was they created a 7-tier revenue share plan. And in this chart, and I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but you can see there's one column there of expansion share and one of exponential share. And if you add up all of those numbers, it totals 20%. And what happens is the more agents that you personally attract to the company, the deeper that you get paid into this revenue share plan. So it's a unique plan, but it's structured in such a way that the company retains over half of the money that comes in, because of course the company still needs to make some revenue, because we have brokers to pay and admin staff, etc., and all of our tech fees. So this is in simplicity how it works. Let's say, for example, you were to refer an agent to eXp, and they don't need to be in your local MLS. They could be in a different city, a different province, they could be in a different country, okay? It does not matter. You become the sponsoring agent. And if that agent, let's say, becomes a capper, well, out of that 20% company dollar, the company's going to give you 3.5%, which would be 2,800 per year. So let's say they're not a big producer, they're not a capper, but let's say they do 40,000. Well, you're still going to get paid $1,400, okay? So what happens here is the company holds on to the money and then is paid back on the 22nd of each month in the form of revenue share. So everybody has a back office which tracks your, what we call your revenue share team, and it shows you in real time what you're earning and what to expect in your next check. So when you take a look at this, the way that it's structured is that the more people that you refer to the company, the deeper that you get paid. So when you refer 5 personal agents on your tier 1, it actually will unlock tier 2, which pays you 4%. Tier 2 is real simple. It's the agents that you brought in who refer other agents. And then so on, it grows deep. Here with 10, it's going to unlock tier 3, 15 will unlock tier 4, etc., etc. And finally, at 40 agents, it unlocks tier 7, which pays 5%, okay? So when you take a look at this, and we'll just use a simple example here, and let's say in your first year, you're able to attract 5 agents to the company, and those 5 agents each on average refer 2 agents in. So now you've ended up with 10 agents on your tier 2. Well, if they're a capping agent, you're going to get paid 4% of that, which is 3,200. And you know, the numbers can begin to add up, and all we're doing is redistributing the money, okay, that was, you know, in the franchise model is going to pay for overhead and a lot of excess. And here we are able to almost in a sense create a salary for our agents as part of the program. So, you know, revenue share, again, it's an option, but there's you know, so many agents who love this part of the business, especially the fact that you can actually, while you're traveling, while you're on vacation, you can meet agents and share with them what's happening, which means that your vacations can now become tax deductible. I actually just spent the entire winter in Florida and in Arizona, and was able to do business down there and enjoy some warm weather over the winter, okay? So as you can see from this map here, we have expanded into Australia, into the UK, and there's only, I think, 2 or 3 provinces left to open up in Canada. And the company is going to have rapid expansion as we go into the rest of 2020, 2021, with multiple countries opening up. So how far will we grow? Well, we don't know for sure, but we know at the rate that we're growing, we're breaking all the records for industry growth, for agent count. And what's happening now is this. Experts are predicting, and in fact, the president of our company was speaking at a recent event, and we fully expect to be at 400,000 agents within the decade, okay? Because never in the history of real estate have we seen a model like this, which is so efficient, but is rewarding agents in so many different ways. So if we take a look and see what's going on in the marketplace, and as you watch some of these testimonials, think to yourself about the amount of due diligence some of these people would have done, okay? So here's a brokerage with 81 agents in Albany, New York, that just merged their entire office with eXp. And I can tell you right now, mergers like this are happening nearly every week. We just had one of the largest independents in the United States with over 900 agents in Phoenix just join eXp. And again, it's because these brokerages, if you own the brokerage, you're really concerned about losing your top agents. and you can't give your top agents what eXp can provide. So you're almost better off to put these agents into a revenue share group, okay? And all you do as the brokers, you're giving up the liability, you're giving up the headaches, okay? And you're actually giving an opportunity to all of your agents. Here's one of the top RE/MAX teams in Ohio who just switched. Here we have Mr. Tom Daves, who I've met a couple of times now, and 18 years at Keller Williams. And in 7 of those years, he was the #1 agent worldwide. Here we have Jay Nelson, one of the top real estate agents in Nashville, Tennessee. Another big RE/MAX team from Orlando that just recently came over. And in Canada here, you know, it's unbelievable what's happening out west. Here we have James Null, the top RE/MAX team in Edmonton, who just recently moved over. Hall of Famer Rick Tush, who spent 33 years with RE/MAX. Here he is with his daughter, Georgia, who have joined us. Michelle Scott formerly managed the RE/MAX office in Kingston. She's now a managing broker with us for eXp. Kim Zudinich from Windsor basically closed down her brokerage. She had a boutique brokerage and merged with eXp. Lisa Aubin, former Royal LePage top agent. She's an icon with eXp. Andre Major, over 40 years experience in the industry, you know, formerly owned both RE/MAX and Sutton Group offices. Derek Gillette from Nanaimo, you know, look at this #1 RE/MAX team in British Columbia, number 41 RE/MAX worldwide. Okay, we are talking some major agents here. Here we have Jason Samard from the Sims Real Estate Group, and you can see how eXp is allowing Jason to basically keep his own branding. Okay, he moved his entire team over. And here we have Melissa in Vancouver, one of the top real estate agents in Canada, who recently joined with us at eXp. So in summary here, just to give you an idea of cost, we have no desk fees, royalty fees, or franchise fees. Our commission is really simple, an 80-20 split up to the first 16,000, then you're at 100%. And when you hit 100%, you will pay a $285 transaction fee. But again, if you do a further 20 transactions, you're going to hit icon status and receive that 16,000 that you paid all back in stock. And then our standard cost, $199 to start up. And with that, you receive 1,000 business cards. And then moving forward, it's $139 a month cloud brokerage fee. And that gives you your KV core, all of your software to run your entire real estate business. And again, it's you know, just incredible what the company can offer for such low fees. But again, it comes down to our model. And we have a $29 broker review fee on every closed deal. And the risk management fee only applies to certain provinces. In Ontario here, it doesn't apply because we buy our insurance separately. So basically, that's what we wanted to share with you today. And we welcome you to explore this a little bit further and find out more about the benefits. And to do that, you can reach back to the eXp agent who shared this webinar with you, and also jot this down. www.life.exprealty.com. And in that particular site, there's some great testimonials and stories and news releases, and it will just give you all the information that you need to begin your due diligence. So thank you for your time today. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward to connecting in the future. Bye for now.